What is up guys, Andy, Forest Team Runner here, back with another race vlog, and today is the day of the Bristol Half Marathon. So welcome back to another race vlog. We're down here in Bristol today, beautiful city, walking down to the start lines. We just parked up. Lee and Linda and Jordan have driven me down today, which is very kind, and we're heading down to the start line now. I'm going to try and get a little bit of a jog in before, but nothing crazy. I'm just looking forward to today. There's so many people, it's great to be back racing. I'm excited to run the streets of Bristol, never run this one before, so it should be a good race. We're all flocking down to the start line, following the crowds, got 35 minutes to go until the start, so yeah, get a bit of a warm up in and then we're just going to get straight on the roll. Not even joking, I'm in the elite warm up pen. Sub 75 seems to get elite treatment here, so bloody hell. Look!
The legend.
We're in the elite pen and we've got Matt. He's doing the 10k today.
I've got one of those as well.
He's got one as well, look.
Say hello, Andy.
Happy days, hello, hello.
Just so brave to see.
you, mate.
So as you can tell now, the speed of movement.
Oh God. How'd you do?
1:14.24.
Amazing.
Just got a bit too windy at the end. You was going around corners and it was an uphill straight away,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, the last 2 miles.
Speed and that.
Last 2 miles killed me.
Well done, buddy. Oh, brilliant.
Good job, buddy.
1:14.23.
1:16.02.
Was it? What,
Yeah.
what did you get for 7? Is that a PB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. You. How did you get on?
114 flat.
Amazing. Right, race done, and look who we bump into. So many of you guys have said you've got to bump into this man. When are you going to see him? I've had messages on Instagram saying, are you going to see him today? And I'm like, hell yes, I will see him. We met each other out on the course, a little out and back around sort of mile 3 or 4. We said hi to each other and we bumped into each other at the finish. So the Insta 360 Go-To did a great job, hopefully. We'll check the footage in a minute, but it's died now. So we're recording on the phone. So how did you get on today, mate?
We got on okay. It wasn't the best preparation, I have to be honest, Andy.
No.
Yeah, got in about 1 in the morning. Yeah, and we were a man down doing our gig last night as well. One guy.
Were you gigging last night as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you played a gig last night, you got in late, you got up here, left at 6 o'clock,
When I come in,
and you raced a half marathon in?
Let's see what it was. 1:31.49.
What?
So I missed out a bit.
I wouldn't say you missed out at all. That is incredible. That's a busy weekend. Not ideal training prep.
I have to be honest, I did try to do as little as I possibly could yesterday. But you'll all know, and Andy will know as well, when you've got kids,
that doesn't happen.
it's not a thing. It doesn't happen.
Definitely. And the thing that everyone will want to know, shoe choice. I'm going to pan down to his shoes. He went for the
Next percent 2.
The Next Percent V2 Prototype Colorway Edition. They were all right for you today?
Yep, I mean, as you know, the course was quite varied actually, really. Had some gravelly sort of bits around that square, some cobblestones, which I have to say, super shoes are not suited to those.
No, not at all.
You don't see old Kip and the gang running around cobblestone streets, do you? It's always on that nice soft sort of soft dirt and stuff, isn't it? So yeah, they don't feel quite as good on that. But on the road, I mean, it's so nice running on open roads as well.
God, it was incredible. So for those of you who've never run the course before, basically it's a lovely smooth kind of out and back, few little undulations until about mile 8 or 9, and it's all going well at that point. And then it goes cobbly, a little bit dirty, and a little bit hilly, especially in the last 2 miles. So you're going great guns, you're feeling good, and then bam, mile sort of 10, 11 hits, you go around a corner, there are cobbles, you look up a hill and you go, oh, and there's about 2 or 3 of those, I'd say, probably in the last 2 or 3 miles, which kind of kill pace a little bit. And like you said, you just missed out. I just missed out by 3 seconds on a 75. We got 1:16.02, so happy with that. But
Brilliant,
like you said, the course just at the end, I'd do this one again, but that last bit was just a little bit, it just takes a little bit too much. You've really got to save something for the end, haven't you?
Yeah, when you hit 10 miles, you've got those 3 miles there, and it does seem like a real struggle. Any half marathon of that distance is going to be hard.
Yes.
Because you're going to be feeling it, your legs are starting to cramp up a little bit. It's going to, every step is a bit more effort. But,
definitely.
But this one, is a little bit tougher at the end.
100%. Well, hey, listen, we survived to tell the tale. Make sure you check out this man's vlog. I know you know who he is, but if you don't, Eddbud, link is in the description below. The shoe reviewer, go check out how he got on, his review of the race. And yeah, absolute pleasure to meet you. We'll be doing this again soon.
I love this man.
Hopefully for a training run, another race, something. Hopefully before the end of 2021, but if not, into 2022, this will happen again. All right, so back home now. Bristol Half Marathon 2021 complete in the bag. Before we dive into the quick race recap, just a massive thanks again to each and every one of you guys out there. Really, really appreciate all the support, especially on this training series. I feel really good to cap this series off with this result, even though obviously it wasn't the sub 74 that we originally were shooting for. I feel like I've got the result, or close to the result that I wanted to kind of sew this series up and then move on to the next. So a massive thanks to you guys. A massive thanks to Lee, Linda and Jordan for coming down today. They ferried me around everywhere. They're just amazing. They love coming and watching and supporting races. It was so nice to have sort of someone to drive me there and back and have friendly faces out there shouting on the course. So massive thanks to them. And Great to see Ed at the end there. You saw that little clip with him, obviously finally meeting him in person. What a dude. He is so cool. He's amazing. Mark at the end as well, I saw. There's loads of you that I saw, which was fantastic. So thank you everyone very much. In terms of the race, I'm really happy. I executed exactly what I wanted to do. Obviously, we've had two contrasting races lately. Severn Bridge, Cheltenham. Severn Bridge started slower, worked into it, finished strong. Cheltenham started hard, faded hard. So I knew today that I wanted to start slow and finish strong, which is exactly what I did, and I'm really happy, even though the mile splits for 11 and 12 are slower. I'll talk all about that shortly. I did just that. It was great. And in terms of the course, it was a nice out and back towards Clifton Suspension Bridge. Gently uphill on the way, gently downhill on the way back. So again, really happy. Took my time up to the 3 miles. Ran with Justin, chap called Justin, for about 5 miles. So Justin, if you're watching, pleasure to run with you and talk to you along the way. Literally ran with him from the gun for 5 miles. So that was cool. We talked all the way, got up to mile 3.8, which is where the turnaround was. Felt comfortable, felt good. Heart rate was in control. I was keeping a quick eye on it just to make sure nothing was going crazy. It was late 160s, early 170s, so that was good. I wasn't topping 174s, 175s like I was at Cheltenham, so I was happy with that. Had a nice rolling then 3 mile downhill back into the city centre of Bristol. So at that point I felt really good and started to pick a few people off at that point. So people had gone out quite hard up the hill, but I started to get into my groove. So we started off in the 5:49 first mile, 5:50 something second mile, so really did keep it nice and relaxed. Another 5:49 I think, or 48, you'll have seen the splits. Either way, kept it nice and chilled. And then at the turnaround 4 and then 5, 6 and 7, they were a bit quicker, low 40s. I think I snuck a 5:37 in there, so that was good. Just let the downhill take me. Felt comfortable at that point, and felt confident as well, which is great. So we came back into the city centre at around mile 8 just before, and then started the ducking and the weaving. So the next couple of miles were fine, actually. They were a little bit twisty-turny, but they were on nice smooth tarmac, and that was all good. Got to mile 10, clocking low 540s, which is exactly what I was doing back in the time trial back in March, low 540s. And then I finished hard in the 530s and ducked under the 75 for a 74.48. Well, today I held around those low 540s, and I thought a 75 is on the cards here. I don't think I'm going to have enough in the tank to really cut down, but I feel strong and confident to hold, which is great. Mile 10 came, split it again, it was fine. And then what happened around mile 10 is the streets got rather cobbly, and everyone I spoke to at the end, the last couple of miles on this course is really tough, especially when you're trying to hang on. The streets get quite cobbly. You go around a corner, you go up a hill, and these hills were short and sharp. They weren't long, but they took the sting out of the pace, and that was the story of the last 2 miles. Basically, there was about 2 or 3 quite chunky hills in there, which I really pressed up. I thought, no, come on, you're 2 miles away, you can work these hills, you run these hills in the forest. And I'm really proud of myself. I attacked the hills well, but it still meant my mile splits were like 5:58 and 5:58 or something like that. So they were a lot slower, but I worked the hills. I didn't back off. Wasn't afraid of them. I pushed hard on them. And again, that's what I wanted, a strong finish. Although the pace doesn't reflect the effort, I really worked those last couple of miles. So I'm really happy. And 2 people went past me in the last couple of miles, and then I passed someone and they passed me back. So we equaled that out. But I continued to pass people from about mile 8 onwards. So I was just picking them off. And that's a great feeling. I really encourage any of you, if you're racing, just back off a bit at the start, save some for the end. It's such a confidence boost to be picking people off. So that was what it was. And then I ran with this chap towards the end. He pulled away in the last bit, but I put a really good hard sprint finish in at the end and came in at 1:16.02. 3 seconds outside of sub 75. But you know what? I actually don't care. I'm really proud of the run. It was a strong run. It was everything I wanted. I held pace. I didn't fade like Cheltenham. It didn't knock me. And I feel like it's capped off a really solid block. On the whole, I held a very similar pace to what I was doing in the 74.48. It was just the last couple of miles that kind of let it down a bit. Other than that, strong finish to this racing block. Next week, I'll talk a little bit more about what we've got coming up next and all of that good stuff, new training, all of that. I'll cover it all. But once again, for this one, thank you so much, guys. Bristol, great run. The great run. You guys put on a great run. It was fantastic. Really happy. Great to be out with the crowds. Great to meet so many of you. So that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.